And this is the question that I have been getting asked from day one since we started doing the couples channel, since we introduced you guys to our children. Lyric, Eddie's child. What's good, y'all? It's your girl Michelle, and today I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be answering questions I typically would avoid, but y'all already know what it is. Shells is as real as it comes, so I have no shame in my game, and I'm going to answer the questions. That's pretty much what it is. I kind of like these sit-down videos better. It's more intimate, and you guys are able to get to know me a little bit better on a personal level. Not really prepared. I should have brought me some snacks or whatever, but I got some V8 juice or whatever. I didn't really plan on doing this right now, but I figured since I was out running errands, why not just sit down, park up somewhere, and do this Q&A for you guys. So if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. You already know it's a vibe over here. Don't just watch the video, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up because your girl's leaking all of the tea. Make sure you have your bells turned on so you never miss when I upload a video. And we're gonna jump right into the first question. The first question is, you and Eddie's first time, and don't play, give us the tea, sis. Damn, y'all trying to get all up in them skins. Y'all trying to really literally get up in the business. I mean, as for Eddie and I's first time, honestly, do I really remember? It was so many years ago. It was over a decade ago, but let's just say it was nice. And honestly, I initiated it, my little fast ass back then. We did what we had to do, grown folk business, and it was kind of short-lived because FYI, boy couldn't keep up with me. When it's good, they can't keep up. They gotta, you know, get it together. Let's just say it was A1, hence why I married him, why we had children together. So pretty much self-explanatory. Are you and Eddie officially back together? Yes, we are officially back together. That's my boo. That's my dog. That's my best friend. That's my rider, my confidant, my backbone. Like, so was there any traumatizing experiences that happened to you as a kid that affect you today as an adult? Honestly, I feel like we all have had something traumatic happen to us in our lives, whether it's in our childhood, adolescence, or even into adult. I have been through a lot of different things. Certain things I just feel would have to be for a separate video because it's that deep. But honestly, yes, I have experienced things, and I'll just say going through something with a loved one who was fighting an addiction and having to witness that and not being able to help them through it, especially when you love them as deeply as I love them. It was really hard for me to process and understand the reason behind it, especially at a young age. And so that definitely was something traumatizing because I couldn't understand. And as a child, when you go through certain things, you don't really understand why things happen to you. I feel like that's what leaves the scars, because the unknown and questions that can't be answered for you just leave you with your own answers. If that makes sense, you have to come up with your own reasons why. That sometimes causes us to have a lot of trauma because we don't really understand why these things have to happen to us, especially when you're a child. You don't expect to go through things at such a young age that can then make you have to grow up faster because you were exposed to things that you weren't supposed to see at a young age. So I have went through many different things, but that one right there was really hard. It took a toll on me even up into today. Hence why I am somebody who's never tried any type of, you know, recreational drugs, really. Honestly, I smoked weed here and there, but that was nothing that became an addiction. And honestly, I stray away from drinking any type of alcohol beverages because of what I saw, and because I saw what these substances can do to a person, especially somebody that you hold dear to your heart. That was a mouthful, y'all. This is a three-part question. To swallow or to spit? Oh, we getting spicy, huh? I didn't know we was getting that personal. To be honest with you, I'm very prude, and I'm a very shy person, especially when it comes to being intimate. Even though I've been with Eddie for so many years, I do have a side of me that does get timid when, you know, it's about to go down. I really don't like nothing going in my mouth unless it's food. The way my gag reflexes are set up, the way my stomach is set up, I don't really think that would work out too well for anybody. So honestly, I'm gonna have to pass. There's other options. You got the spit or the swallow, since y'all wanna be nasty, but then you have other parts of the body. So I'm just fine with you. You could just do what you gotta do, and you could just let it off on the butt, okay? Booty's just fine, the cheek, the elbow, the arm, but I just don't feel like that's going in my mouth. It's just not what it's supposed to be for. You nasty. Are you and Eddie still married or divorced? You guys watch a couple of videos back. There's a two-part to that video, and we basically disclosed, exposed, opened up, and let you guys know what was going on and what led to our, you know, the struggles in our relationship, the struggles in our marriage. And unfortunately, we are divorced. It is official, but I don't look at it as the end of the world. I look at it as a new chapter. Sometimes you have to start over to realize the do's and the don'ts going forward. And because we're not married, it doesn't take away from the love that I have for him. It doesn't take away from the real connection that I have with him and the things that we have done. And honestly, to me, it feels like we're still married, just not documented anymore. And to me, he'll always be my husband. You just never know what the future holds. So I don't really look at it as a loss. I look at it as a restart. Have you guys ever been caught by your kids doing a do? Listen, one thing about me, I'm very, very big on this. Call me old school. I don't know, maybe I picked this up from my mom, but there's a time and a place to do certain things. And when your kids are around, you don't ever want to expose them to that. I just feel so uncomfortable. I always make sure if and when it's gonna go down, even though I feel like it needs to go down right then and there because we're feeling how we feel, put them babies to bed. That's a no for me. Hell, even if you have to go in the bathroom or whatever the case may be, go in the car, do what you gotta do. But I just feel like that is very inappropriate. It could scar them, okay? Children don't need to see that, and that'll make them get, it'll mess with their mental. You get any weird stares when people notice you were in an interracial relationship? Honestly, yes, I have. I have gotten a lot of stares. Even till this day, I've gotten a lot of stares. But I feel like ignorance is bliss, and you're the one with the problem. That really doesn't affect me because I grew up in a household where we didn't see color. There wasn't a certain guidelines that I had to follow in my family. You know, I did notice that a lot of my family members stayed with, you know, in the same race. But for me, I always like to step out of the box. I never wanted to do what I saw growing up. And so I paved my own path, and I decided to do what worked for me. And love has no color. So if somebody's gonna look at me like that because I'm with somebody of a different ethnicity, then they're the ones with the problems. Honestly, take a picture, it'll last longer. My hair is not cooperating. On to the next question. Are you and Eddie together but divorced? Yes, I just answered that question. We are together, and yes, we are divorced. Is the divorce official? Yes, it is. And honestly, I don't feel like I need to provide any type of statements or any documentation to you guys. I said what I said. You guys know me, you respect me, and you rock with me. Then you would never question my answer. There's no reason to cap or to drag on something like this for so long for clout or for views. That's just not how I get down. It's not who I am, period. Would you work in the healthcare again or any job that's not social media? Absolutely. Like I said, you're OG, you've been following me, you've been listening. But yes, before I started YouTube and social media, I was working in healthcare. Like I said, I fell in love with YouTube, so I decided to make this full time for me. But in the back of my mind, I always have the love and the passion for elderly people. Don't go back into the healthcare. I want to make sure that whatever job I decide to do, it will definitely be working with people, because I just have a passion for people, helping people. And most likely I would probably go back to college and pursue my degree so that I can, you know, really be making in big coins. Would you ever get your body done? I really fought with myself with this because there was a time where I really was unhappy with my body, specifically my little tatas, and I just felt like it didn't make me feel like I was an adult. It made me feel like I was still stuck in my teens. I realized, and I had to dig deep down into myself and really love myself and understand that we were all made differently. We're not gonna all look the same, even though we wish that we look like this and we wish we look like that. You have to accept the way that God made you. Honestly, we're all made differently for a reason. We all stand out for a reason. So I had those thoughts, but then I also realized that if I change myself, then I really don't love myself, and that there's so many different things and health risks that can go into changing your body and putting foreign objects into your body. So once I did the research and once I started to Google and once I seen experiences of people going through so much and having to get things removed from their body, I was like, it's a no for me. I will stuff my bra, rub my titties with some olive oil. I will do DI methods, but I'm good. Do you want any more piercings or tattoos? Honestly, I'm pierced out, okay? I started getting piercings at the age of 16. Your girl was just running wild. I had a fetish for piercings. I feel like I had every piercing that you could possibly think of except for my nipples. And we're not gonna mess with those because the way my titties is set up, and it just wouldn't look right. And also I heard it hurts like a bitch. So that's the only piercing I didn't get. But I feel like I've experienced that stage already in my life. As I got older, then I started to regret the piercings, and then they leave marks and stuff on your body. So right now I'm comfortable with the piercings that I do have. That was like a phase for me, and I outgrew that. As for tattoos, your girl loves her tattoos. For me, tattoos is a way of expressing myself. It's a work of art. This is something that when people look at my tattoos, it expresses a lot. Every tattoo on me is a story. It has a meaning. So I feel like I could use a couple of more. Your girl's inked up, period. Who are your greatest inspirations in life and why? That's a really good question. Honestly, I want to be my own inspiration. I mean, of course there are celebrities and people who, you know, are great, but I feel like I'm my biggest inspiration, because it takes a lot out of a person to be inspired by themselves, to push yourself to do all of the things that you want to accomplish without anybody pushing you to do it. And for me, that's what I'm working on. I don't want to be like anybody else. I may want to accomplish the goals like other people. You know, I want to be financially stable, but I inspire myself. I'm my biggest inspiration, because if you can take your life and look back on everything that you have been through and you are still here, you're still pushing despite what is thrown at you, and you're still trying to get your goals accomplished even though you're blocked and you're faced with so much bullshit all the time, that's inspiring. And I feel like it comes from me. I'm in control of my life. I'm in control of my choices. I'm in control of my path. How are your beautiful children coping with you guys being back together? Honestly, when this whole situation came about, I'm sure it affected them in some ways, hence why I felt like I needed to do something, because I am my children's role model, and I cannot preach and tell them that they need to do this and they need to live a life like this and this is what they accept and what they shouldn't accept if I am displaying negative behavior or dysfunctional behavior in front of them. So I know it was hard for them because of the separation and because of the tension and the arguments and stuff like that, but me as a mother, I always make sure to check in on my children. I always check on their mental state. I always make sure that they can come to me and never feel afraid to come to me about anything, because I'm never going to judge them. So the relationship that I have with my children, that I'm instilling in them, it's to always feel like you can come to me with whatever. Honestly, despite our separation and despite the divorce, we still were around each other. We still made it beautiful for the children, no matter what it was, no matter what I was feeling, no matter what he was feeling when he came. They couldn't see that. They couldn't tell that, because it was always about, the focus is always about the children. And that's what it should always be, despite your differences with your partner. You never want your children to get involved, because then they feel like they need to choose, and then you're messing up their minds. I do whatever I need to do to prevent them, to keep and make sure that they have a happy life and a healthy mindset. Is Lyric Eddie's child? And this is the question that I have been getting asked from day one, since we started, you know, doing the couple channel, since we introduced you guys to our children. This was the #1 question. It's not something that I was avoiding intentionally. I just felt like certain things just don't need to be said, because I've been asked this question so many times. A dad isn't defined as a man who makes a child. I feel like it's about time, effort, just putting in that quality time. Eddie has been there for Lyric since she was a 1.5 years. And when he first met my daughter and I first introduced my daughter to Eddie, I was a little on the fence, because I was afraid that it wasn't going to work out. And I introduced my daughter to this man who wasn't going to be around. When I first introduced Lyric to him, her first response, and I kid you not, God strike me dead, we went over to him, I introduced her to him, he was sitting on my bed, and I said, Lyric, this is my friend Eddie. She went over to him, she hugged him, and she said, Daddy. When I tell you I got chills, I get chills till this day. It blew my mind. That's when I knew, right then and there, he was the one. I didn't have any more doubts. Right then and there was reassurance to me that he was the one. Being a real parent to me isn't in the DNA, it's what's in the heart. And I answered the question, you guys were always hounding me on it. It's not that I avoided it, it just wasn't, I felt like it wasn't the right time. Are you and Eddie still considering moving out of the state? As for now, being that we did just go through this crazy storm, we are now trying to focus on us, strengthen us, make sure we understand each other, having the proper communication, because we would hate to travel outside of the state and be away from our family and our loved ones and shit hit the fan. When we feel like we're at a place that we're strong enough and have it down to a science, definitely the goal. I have been living in New York all of my life, so has Eddie, and change needs to come, okay? I'm not happy here. The cost of living is disgusting. Just want to live somewhere different, where different people, different air, different vibes, different places to go. I feel like there's just so much more than just staying where you come from. See yourself having another baby. I don't know where you getting that from. Don't you wish no baby on me. I have 3 babies. 3 babies, 3 jobs. 24/7 around the clock. I'm not gonna talk about all of the things that they come with. How expensive they are. How much patience you need. How aggravating they can become. How they ruin your body. God bless me not once, not twice, but 3 times. 3 times is enough. A lot of things change for you when you become a parent. You're not able to do what you used to be able to do. You have to put your children before yourself. And I've never been a selfish person, hence why I feel like I was blessed so many times with beautiful children, because I've always been somebody who do for somebody before I do for myself. And so I love the fact that I'm a mother, but can still live a good life. But there's certain things you're not going to be able to do. And if I'm trying to get to a place in my life where I want to be financially set and I want to travel the world, it would just set me back, because now I have to focus on being pregnant for damn near a year. Just saying that is making me overwhelmed. So you guys get the point. Ain't nothing coming out this cootie cat. The shop is shut down, okay? How are you dealing with your anxiety and panic attacks? Honestly, hardest thing for me in the beginning, I wasn't sure what was happening to my body, was really accepting that this is something that comes along with me. Once I was able to accept the fact that this is a part of me, it doesn't make me, but this is something that I have to cope with, it made it a little bit easier. And honestly, going to therapy has been such a great release and relief for me as well. Being able to express and get out things that have been pent up in my body I wasn't able to speak about. I feel like anxiety and panic attacks is just a lot of worry, a lot of what ifs about the future, or your mind just going on overload. For me, it's a lot of trauma, I feel like, as to why I developed anxiety. As I look back, I noticed that I did have it even growing up as a child. There were certain signs that, you know, I remember now as to, you know, me getting overly nervous or my stomach hurting or just feeling really shaky and stuff like that. I feel like we all have anxiety at some point in our lives. That doesn't make you any less normal. It doesn't make you weird, and that's what it was for me. It's just a lot of stuff that bothered me starting to get easier for me. Now, don't get me wrong, there's times when I'll have a crazy panic attack out of the blue when we're out and about, and it's like I freak out. It's just a normal reaction, but I've learned to take it easy. Don't expect so much from myself. I do the best that I can. Breathing techniques is number one for me. I swear, I didn't know for all these years that I would hold my breath a lot of times. Even when I speak, doing a lot of things, I'm holding my breath and not realizing that I'm cutting off my damn oxygen, which then makes it harder for me because now my body's going into panic mode. Learning to just take things easier. Working at my pace has literally helped me, and making sure that I have been focusing on myself and being kind to myself. I have so much anger and so many emotions that's been bottled up and shielded and pushed down for so long, and you weren't able to really deal with it. That's when anxiety and, you know, stuff starts to resurface for you again, and you're just like, well, where the fuck is this coming from? I don't understand why my body's going like this. I've learned to just take things and just slow down. It's always going to be a work in progress for me. Some days are easier than others, but those days that are harder for me, that's when I love on myself a little bit more. I feel like I've been talking for a good hour. I think I'm out of questions right now. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you did, give it a thumbs up. If you guys want me to do more, feel free to leave me some more questions. Hit that subscribe button. Join the family, because the Simplies is lit. Shells is lit. It's good energy, good vibes, good times, all of that. Good for the soul, good for the spirit, good for the everything. Make sure your post notifications are turned on so you never miss when I upload a video. Follow your girl on Instagram, because that's where I be at when I'm not on the tube. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on my couple channel at Eddie and Michelle. I love you guys so much. And with that being said, I'm out.